I'm Amy from Doodle Dog Designs.
I am on the Graphics Fairy website looking at Santas with red coats. I'm going to make a Victorian inspired paper Christmas ornament. I think I'm going to use this graphic here. So I'm going to copy the image and then I'm going to paste it into my word processor. Now if you wanted, you could just save it to your computer and print it, but I find it easier to control the size that it prints on my computer if I do it this way, and then I can make it whatever size I want. And then I am going to print it. I want to make sure that I have the best media quality chosen. Prints a little bit nicer on my printer. Your printer might not need that.
I'm going to take it and cut it out. The bottom part doesn't need to be cut out around, but I'm going to cut the top right around his head and body. So you could do this with an old postcard. That's probably what this is a scan of an old postcard. I'm not going to cut out the tree because I'm going to put something else there. I have this piece of cardstock that I'm going to use as the base for this, just to give it a little bit of substance. And then I've got this, I'm going to make a little pocket with this. So I want this piece to be the same width as my base. Now I'm going to do a little grunging. So I've got a brown ink pad, and I'm going to take my paper and just rub it on the brown ink pad. You can see that gives it more of a grungy look, and then I'm going to red the edges a little bit more. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I want the edges of this one to be grunged. Then a little bit the edges on this as well. I feel like he's just a little bit too big, so I printed it out again, and this time I did it about 2¼ inches in width. And I'm going to actually, it's a little bit floppy also, so I'm going to glue him to a piece of cardstock, and then I'll cut out the two pieces together so he'll have a little bit more substance. And this time I am going to cut around the tree, and then I'll decide. If I don't like it, I will cut it off. So I'm also going to cut this off so it's the same size and I don't have any backing sticking up behind. So with that, I will make a little pocket to stick everything in. So I'm going to slide him in. I'm going to go ahead and glue my pocket together, make things a little bit easier to deal with. I'm just going to put glue along bottom and two sides and put this together. So I'll still be able to slide stuff in there at the top. I've got a glitter Christmas bottle brush tree. This came from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the bottom off. And then I'm going to attempt to flatten out the brush, the tree, by cutting one side. Then hopefully I can slide it in. It's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out more of this tree here so I don't have that showing behind.
I'd previously purchased this graphics bundle for a different project, and I'm going to use one of the Merry Christmas graphics
I printed it out on regular copy paper that I had coffee dyed previously. I didn't want the reindeer or the 2-all, so I made some white squares in my graphics program and I just put them over the parts that I didn't want printed. I'm going to then tear this out. I'm going to fold it and tear right along the fold lines. And I'm going to grunge the edges a little bit. Very, very lightly. Give it a little bit of grunge on the front. Don't want much. Just a little bit. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glitter on the Santa here. I'm using some really fine glitter. And then I'm going to put it on the sign as well. Okay, while that dries, I'm going to attach my hanger. I cut the handle from this tinsel. Now, hot glue is not my favorite way to attach things, but sometimes it is really the easiest. I don't like it because you tend to get little glue strings everywhere, but I am going to use it for this to attach the hanger to the back of the card here. Make sure that I've got the top here, the part that opens, and I will put a glob of glue right here. And then some right here. The hot glue is nice here just because it dries fast. I've put it all together and I feel like the tree needs a little bit more color. I haven't attached anything except the handle still. I'm still working on figuring out how I want it to look. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue, a glob of it here, and then take a paintbrush and I'm going to dab it on in a few different spots. And then I've got some red, really fine glitter. I am going to glue on the sign now. Now I'm going to glue this in. I'm going to glue just on the bottom here, on the back. I'll leave the front open, unglued, so I can slide that tree in. I just realized I should have grunged up the back of this also, so I'll just go ahead and do that real quick so it looks consistent on the back there. I want this to be right about like that, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun again. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the stem here and then right along here. I want it to be right on the trunk of the tree so I don't have an ugly glob, and I want to push it down right there so it's covering that green tree. I've got some 1/8 inch wide red satin ribbon. I'm going to cut a little piece. So I'm going to take it and tie it onto the handle here. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe below. I'll see you next time. Bye.